Welcome to the Banner Basic Navigation tutorial. At the end of this tutorial, you should know how Banner is used, the Banner structure, be able to recognize features of the Banner system, and complete tasks for obtaining access. The purpose of this tutorial is to introduce you to the Banner interface and show module navigation. This tutorial is not intended to teach you any specific tasks, but rather increase confidence to access forms, navigate records or blocks, and search for records. Let's begin with our first module, which provides an overview of the Banner purpose and software structure. UNC Charlotte uses Banner to manage organizational data for employees, students, finance, and advancement. The data is separated into different pieces known as systems and is managed by different groups across campus. There are 5 modules or systems to which you may have access. These Banner modules or systems include Student, Finance, Human Resources, Financial Aid, and Advancement. What you learn in this tutorial can be applied to any of these modules or systems and is not specific to just one area. All 5 Banner systems or modules share a common database. Everyone who uses Banner shares this database, thus providing an integrated system where all users see the same data in real time. Banner software acts as an interface to the database, making the job of adding or retrieving data much easier. This reduces data redundancy by eliminating the need to duplicate input when separate functional areas have the data in common. Each Banner module in turn contains other smaller units, each of which handles a major function. For example, the student system includes course catalog, general student, and admissions. Within each of these units are forms. A form is where you enter and look up information. Now that we have reviewed what Banner does and how it helps organize data, let's move on to the second module and look at the system itself. In order to access Banner, you must go to banner.uncc.edu. Once you have reached the Banner production page, it is important to note the outage notice section at the very top of the page. This section on the page indicates if there are any scheduled outages planned for Banner and relevant details. To log into Banner production, you should click on the Ban Prod link located on the left-hand side of the page. To log into Self-Service Banner, click on the Banner SSB link on the right side of the page. After clicking on the Ban Prod link, a new window will open. It will pause and then a second window will open with the login page. Use your NinerNet username and password and leave the database field blank. Press the Enter key or click the Connect button when finished. When Banner comes up, you will be looking at the main menu, also known as the general menu. Even though the first window that opened looks blank, it is running an essential plugin required to run Banner. If you need to access the internet while in Banner, do not close this window. Simply open a new browser session instead. The first thing you'll see after you log on is the Banner main menu. Banner uses a standard user interface and includes tools and items you are used to seeing within other applications. You can see an example of the Banner main menu on this screen. Depending on what security level your job requires, you may or may not see all of the folders listed under the main Banner folder. Now let's look at some key features you will need to know. Under the Go To field, you see 2 main folders. The My Banner folder is a folder you can customize with the forms you use most frequently. To review, Banner is made of 5 modules: Finance, Student, Financial Aid, HR, and Advancement. You can log into Banner at banner.uncc.edu using your NinerNet credentials. The database field should be left blank when logging in. The first form you see is the main menu. My Banner is used to customize forms you use most frequently in Banner. Now that we know the general features of the Banner interface, let's discuss forms. A Banner form allows you to enter and look up information. Depending on your security access, forms can have query, maintenance, or update functionality. A form can be accessed through a series of menus, or, if you know the name, by direct access. In this tutorial, we will only review the direct access method for accessing forms. Direct access means you can immediately access a form without searching through the system menus to locate it. There are several ways a form can be found using direct access. If you know the 7-character name of the form, you can type it in the Go To box and press Enter. This will take you immediately to the form. You may also click File on the menu bar, and up to 10 forms that you have visited during this banner session will display. Please note that once you close the banner session, this list will be cleared. You can click in the Go To box and use the up or down arrow buttons on the keyboard to go through the most recent forms you have used. When you find the form you want, press the Enter key. Finally, you can conduct a general search for all types of specific forms by using a wildcard symbol and the last 4 characters of the form name. To conduct a search for all specific form types using direct access, first type your search criteria, such as the %, IDEN, into the Go To field and press the Enter key. The search results window will appear, populated with all possible matches for the IDEN form. There are a few methods you can use to navigate from block to block within a form. You can select the next or previous block buttons from the toolbar. You can also select the block menu and choose either the next or previous sub-menu option. The Control button and page up or page down keys on the keyboard will also provide a navigation within the form. The last option is to click on the tab you want to view. You can perform tasks in Banner multiple ways. Keystrokes, pull-down menus, toolbar icons, and mouse clicks are all acceptable methods for working in the Banner system. For example, you can select from a variety of options when you decide to exit a form. You can use File and Exit from the menu bar. Click on the X or Exit icon in the toolbar, press the Control and Q keys on your keyboard, or right-click on the form and select Exit from the submenu. Please note you can open more than one form at a time. However, doing this will greatly slow your system, and for this reason is not a best practice. Be aware that if you do not exit a form and proceed to open another, the original form will remain open. Here are some examples of the IDEN form. All of these IDEN forms serve the same purpose for each module or system function. There are 7 main parts of a form: the toolbar, title bar, key block, blocks, records, fields, and the auto hint status bar. We will briefly describe the function of each one using the SOAIDEN form. When you hover your mouse over an icon on the toolbar, a tooltip will appear describing what the icon is used for. If you prefer to use keyboard shortcuts for these common functions, click on the Help menu and select Show Keys. This will bring up a list of most of the shortcut keystrokes. The very top part of the form is called a key block. This is where you enter the banner number of the person you are looking up. All forms have a key block. The rest of the form is divided into blocks. A block is a section of the form that contains related information from a record. A record is a group of fields that make a logical unit. If a form contains more than one block, each block except for the key block may be enclosed in a beveled box. Some forms will have tabs directly under the key block showing various blocks of data that you can access while using that form. Tabs that are dark blue are tabs that are currently active, where gray tabs are disabled in the current view. A field is an area on a form where you can enter, query, change, and display specific information. Some fields in Banner allow you to type directly into the space provided to populate the data. However, many other fields only accept codes from a defined list of values. These fields are also known as LOV fields. Clicking the down arrow beside the field, double-clicking in the field itself, or pressing the F9 key will display the list of values for the specific field. Double-click on the desired value and it will be inserted into the field for you. The auto hint line is the gray line at the bottom of the screen. This is where the system will display error, processing, and help messages. If Banner doesn't respond to your commands, check this line for instructions on how to proceed. The status line is also displayed at the bottom of a form and provides information about the number of records displayed and whether all records have been displayed. Make sure you use the scroll bar to view all possible records on a page before moving on. Under the Options menu of each form, you will find a list of various options available. Some options take you to a block within the form and others take you outside to a related form. When the choice in the Options menu links to another form, that form's name will be in a brackets after its description. As a tip, you can press the Alt key and the underlined letter of any menu or submenu to access the pull-down menu or option. There are 7 main parts of a form: the toolbar, title bar, key block, blocks, records, fields, and auto hint status bar. The very top part of the form is called a key block. This is where you enter the banner number of the person you want to find. All forms have a key block. The auto hint line is at the bottom of the screen where the system will display error, processing, and help messages. Make sure to use the scroll bar to view all possible records on a page before moving on. We have now identified all the key components of forms, so let's discuss how we can use forms to search for people and other items in Banner. To look up a person, click the down arrow on the key block in SOAIDEN. This causes the option list window to appear. Click on the person search and the SOAIDEN form will appear. This form stands for Student Overall Application Identification. Based on security access, certain departments may have other searches available for use that are more applicable to their needs. This is an example of a general type of search that any user can conduct. The SOAIDEN form allows you to search for a person using their ID number or name and incorporate wildcards if necessary. To use the SOAIDEN form, simply type in the ID, last name, or first name in the appropriate fields, and press the F8 key on your keyboard to start your search. Please remember, you can always tell when you are in search mode because the auto hint line will always display enter a query, press F8 to execute, Control Q to cancel. Wildcards allow you to search with greater flexibility. Incorporating a wildcard into your search criteria tells Banner that you are requesting a broader search for records that contain the exact letters or numbers that you entered. The wildcard feature works in many Banner fields. Wildcards can be placed at the beginning, middle, or end of a search field. There are 2 wildcards in Banner, the %sign and the underscore. The %sign is the wildcard for multiple characters and the underscore sign is the wildcard for a single character. The %sign is used more than the underscore. Pressing the F8 key on your keyboard will display the results, or you can also click on the Execute Query icon along the toolbar. Double-click on an entry to select it. If the results are not what you need, click on the Enter Query icon on the toolbar or press F7 to start another query. The example on the screen shows how wildcards can be used and the type of results they return. There are 2 ways to look up names or IDs in Banner. The first is to open the Person Search or SOAIDEN form. The second is to do a search directly from the key block with the name or ID. There are 2 wildcards in Banner, the %sign and the underscore. The %sign is the wildcard for multiple characters and the underscore is the wildcard for a single character. Performing an object search allows you to search for a form without having to know the entire form name. Now let's discuss some of Banner's extra features that can help increase efficiency and effectiveness while using the system. Any field that requires a date will have a calendar icon next to it. Click on the icon to bring up the calendar. You can also double-click any date field to display a calendar. If the date field has a value, the calendar highlights that date. If the date field is empty, the calendar highlights the current date. You can double-click a date on the calendar to select it for the date field. You can also click the Today button to select today's date. Any field that requires calculations will have a calculator icon next to it. Just like the calendar icon, you can click this calculator icon to bring up the calculator function. You can also double-click any amount field to display the calculator. If the amount field has a value, the calculator shows that amount. After making the necessary calculations, click the OK button to select the calculated value for the amount field. We have identified the key parts of the Banner software structure and can navigate between Banner modules and forms. Now let's briefly discuss how to correctly exit the Banner system. To log off Banner, you must close all forms first by clicking the Exit button on the toolbar. When all forms are closed, you will see the main menu. Click the Exit icon in the toolbar again, or press Ctrl-Q to view the Banner log-off confirmation window. Click the Yes button to exit the browser. Make sure to close all other Banner-related windows. The purpose of this tutorial was to familiarize you with the Banner interface and demonstrate how to navigate through the modules. It was not meant to teach you any specific task, but rather to make you more comfortable with naming conventions, accessing forms, navigating from record to record or block to block, and finding individual records via searches. Thank you for viewing this Banner Basic Navigation tutorial.